Hello, everybody. You're listening to a Coffees with Toffees podcast. I will be your host, Flubb, and this is the Flupdate. Sorry about looking over there. After I got a really exciting show for you today. We got 4 different things I want to talk to you guys about. One, the first thing is January 20th update. The update had a new UI update, which personally I love. I love this new UI. I hated the old UI, and I couldn't stand the way that it moved in general. It gave me kind of like the creeps. Not the creeps, but wrong word for it. But it gave me definitely a feeling that this is not the true Dota that it always has been. I always loved the old shop, and they kind of got a step back to it, which is great. The shop that was in 7.1 was just horrible, and I'm glad that they're updating that now, having a new feel to it, having the items be more personable, a little less personable actually, which I like, because you have to have like each guy a new build for each guy, which felt really weird. You can still kind of do that. I personally like having a complete autonomous system that I can easily map out and just go wherever I need to go and go from there. The best thing though that they kind of added about it was they had a situation of the popular items. They didn't have a feeling of actually popular items, in my opinion. So they took the popular items of the top tier players, which was great. I'm glad that they kind of gave us someone to shoot towards. It gave us items to know what people are building in the current tournaments, what people are building in current high-level pubs, and give us that insight in general. One thing I always complained about was Bounty Hunter. He actually had a Battle Fury on his popular items, and I hated that so much. No one should ever have that as a Bounty Hunter. And if you did do it, that's okay. I forgive you. We'll move past it. But the thing is just no. Nope. No bounty hunters with Battle Furies. You don't do it. Another great thing about the update is that they changed the backpack. In my opinion, on the right side was kind of crappy where it was before. They put it underneath. A great decision. I think that it's a little harder to see, but if you're putting stuff into your backpack, you kind of know where it's going to be, and it's only 3 slots, so you shouldn't really have to worry about it that much. Moving into the other things in that patch, they actually also, another UI change is they had the portrait. They have all these stats on the portrait now, like off to the right side of it, and it's fantastic to have that all in one spot. I hated how it was in multiple points on your entire character, like on your screen. It was weird and clunky, and I would get confused on where my attack power was, where my movement speed was. Now it's all in one convenient section that I could just quickly look at, be like, oh, okay, I need to do this, need to do that, whatever. This is the percentage to hit, this is what I can do, this is what I am available to do. Great to have. Great. The only thing that's a little bit off is that you now have to click off of your portrait a little bit whenever you're clicking on yourself for self-casts. You can actually hit Alt. Make sure you hit Alt whenever you're learning this new system, because there's actually a little box in there. And in that little box, that's where you click to self-cast. If there's one thing, though, that I love about this update more than anything else, is they brought back the ability to level with a click of a button. You can actually have a button that clicks, and on anywhere on your keyboard besides freaking control. I hated that before. And you could now level it up by using the QWER. Oh, so fantastic. I hated control because personally I'm very right-hand dominated, so all my mouse buttons are kind of my important buttons. So I play a lot that way, and my left hand is more guiding for the abilities, and my thumb on my left hand is more for items and other things like that. So I can kind of level up and do all the more core things, like changing between heroes and doing the micro, all on my right hand, and changing up levels and everything all there, and it's much simpler than it was before. They also added a leveling tree system where you can actually hit one side for left, one side for right, so quick levels. Whatever makes it faster, whenever I'm sitting in a situation where I'm running in the jungle at like one hit, and I can level up an ability real quick to stun longer, or to get a blink, or have any ability like that, the more I appreciate that from the game. And it's something that I took for granted before, and I am so happy that I have that ability to do that again now. So we talked about that, we talked about the update. Let's move on to the next thing, the Dota Pit Tournament. I have had mixed feelings about this tournament. It has not been the best, really. It is their 5th season tournament, and they've had quite a few long breaks. If you guys actually haven't seen it yet, or been a part of any of these games, watching them, the breaks between each game have been... The first day were pretty horrendous, really. And as a tournament that's been in its 5th season, you can't really have that. It's really unprofessional, in my opinion, to have all these different breaks. And yes, you can get more ads in, you can get more actual time, but if you're not actually producing a content that people enjoy, and you're getting more breaks in for commercials, then you're not really there for what we want. And I'm just going to go watch this on YouTube later, pretty much. And that's what I'm actually going to suggest to people, is that you wait for a while. If you haven't been watching them, just wait till early next week. Try not to read the Dota news, or I know there's sometimes spoilers online. Don't worry, I'm here to tell you what's been happening anyway, so you won't miss out on anything. Just wait until Monday, watch all the games there, and finish it up so you don't have to worry about all this stuff. But for those of you who want to stay spoiler-free, I'm going to be talking about the tournament a little bit from where it's gone to right now. So skip ahead in 4 minutes from this video, or if you guys want to, just watch the rest of this video right before, on Monday, right before you watch the games. I got some good content still here, but I kind of want to talk about where the tournament is and what I've found about it. So here we go. Personally, I am very disappointed, not only because of the tournament and like how it's been going in general and having to wait for all these different breaks, but the most excited I was, the game that I was most excited for was DC versus Secret. And I wanted to see DC win because, one, I like DC. I like the guys in it. I'm a Misery fan for sure. And I wanted to see them kind of beat their rival Secret. I'm more of a fan of theirs than I am Secret, and I don't really know about the whole what truly happened between Weehaw and Misery and all that thing, but with Puppy. But I kind of feel like there's some truth to it, and I want to see them kind of rise above in those situations. I like to root for the underdog, and I guess Secret's more of an underdog now, but man, I just like the guys from DC, so I'm a little disappointed that they're already knocked out. That sucks. I can't stand that. And I also like that I was also kind of going through the tournament, and Elements Pro Gaming was invited, and they've already been knocked out, obviously, and I don't really know who these guys are. Maybe that's my problem, but I don't really think that it is, because their showing at this tournament was pretty lackluster. And with the way that the breaks were, and the way that they invited this team, and they said like all these pro teams are coming, and then they invited this random team, and didn't have a really strong setup where it all tested out on Season 5. I'm personally don't know if I'm going to come back to this tournament when they host it again, because it's a little crappy. I'll just watch the highlights on YouTube, personally. And I think that I want to save you guys the trouble as well, and hopefully get what's needed from these tournaments, and kind of point out, hey, this is what you should watch, because this is some good Dota playing, but don't worry about all this other bullcrap. So we'll move on to the next topic anyway. I don't want to keep crapping on that tournament. They're probably trying their hardest. So I have 3 questions. People ask me 3 questions. I chose 3 questions because there was a lot of really good questions that came in, and I wanted to get to a few of them. and it's because it's the first time I wanted to get to at least 3. I think I'm going to try to do 1 every week from now on. And I asked this on Twitter, and I got these really good responses. So if you guys ever want to tweet me any questions or email me any questions, you can tweet me at FlubbDota, or you can email me at crazyflubb.gmail. I'm not at crazyflubb. crazyflubb@gmail.com, and I can kind of make this more personable. That's what I want this experience to be, and that's what I want this show to be. It's going to be information for you guys, and sometimes, you know, the pro scene isn't always what everyone wants to know about. They want to know how they can help their game individually and how they can get updated on what people are figuring out every day. So without further ado, let's go on to our first question. Our first question comes from Gothier, great guy. Been playing with him for a little while now. He asks, is the new treads+echosabre tidehunter build that is being tried out in pros any good? Will it make it into the pro games? Gothier, I think that it will not make it into the pro games, and here's why. Well, if it does, it may work on a couple games, but most overall it will not work. And I think that it's very similar to how Magnus build was, where it was like that carry Magnus build with Echosabre, and it's still used today. People still will build Mag with Echosabre, crit, and have that style, and there's actually some pro games where they definitely build that style of play, and still do. But the way that Magnus was built, it was built around the design of making a teamfight hero into the ability to have a hero that can go gank elsewhere. Tidehunter doesn't want to do that. He is so good at teamfights, and he can kind of out-teamfight even a Magnus in those situations because he can, you know, he has Kraken Shell. Kraken Shell is one of those things that exists in the game that kind of lets you not have to worry about initiating. People have kind of realized that he doesn't really need the Blink Dagger. It's super useful on him still, and it's still a great way to start a fight. But a lot of times just going aura builds for your team and just existing like a like the new hero. Oh man, I always say is the wrong name, but Pit Lord, because I can only always remember his actual true name. Pit Lord is one of the craziest heroes about that because he has all that aura. He just exists, and he can even be silenced. That's the thing about it. Tide cannot be silenced. He can be silenced, and then he takes a couple of hits of damage, and then suddenly he's broken out of it, and he hits his ultimate and gets like a 5-man stun. That's way more useful to have an aura-based hero like that in that situation than it is to have a hero that hits a little bit harder, adds a slow, and can have a spammable nuke. Because yes, one of the reasons why it's real useful is that you can spam your nuke over and over, but really Echosabre is kind of designed for that lane to win and kind of beat out the carry in that lane. It's not designed around having a good player that generally can move and play the field, you know? It's not about playing in a team fight where that hero is supposed to shine. And as a team player, like if you play in a team, you're gonna have an aura build is just gonna be way more successful. Alright, so now that we've kind of like crushed your theory, I'm sorry, Gothier, I know you're a fan of those and you don't like that, but I'll move on to the next question here. Gotta move on. It's at the Nighthawk, or his name's Juice on Steam. Great guy. He's done a lot of sound work. He's a sound engineer guy. And he asks, I only play Weaver after the 7.0 up. Did I miss Weaver? The Weaver train? Is the hero good as good as before? Or has he lost some potency? What builds should I be looking for? What builds should I be looking for? And what builds you should be looking for is something I kind of don't want to emphasize too much. I'll kind of get into it a little bit, but the reason why you want to pick this hero and why I still think he does have plenty of potency is because he is a carry or an offlaner or a support. He has many different threats on him right now, and it's actually been shown in the tournament that the Pit Tournament has him on teams quite often, and there's a reason for that. Bugs are very strong right now. It is it's not overrated ability. It's a properly rated ability pretty much. And if you look at how they work as a support, the damage output that they give for the levels that you get into it, the amount of control that it gives to your other teams. Basically, if you get out in the right scenario, if you set it up correctly, if you get out bugs and get out a Geminate attack, that guy is probably gonna die, and you're like kind of taking a guy down with every time. If not, probably solo killing him. That's kind of the thing, is that a support Weaver can match up against other supports and generally take them out almost every time. That is very, very strong to have, and to have that pressure is great. And he also makes a very strong core still. He still has that opportunity. Plus, he's one of the few guys with a really good escape, so having him in a dual lane is not an unheard of scenario, and it's actually a very popular scenario. So, I don't think you missed the train. I think that there's just maybe some things that you need to look out for. One, I think that if you go support Weaver, I think if you go treads into Medallion, that is a great way to play. Gives you that minus armor, gives you the tank ability for doing that, and that's something that you may want to consider. I also think that going into just a normal boots, picking up the minus armor, the 300 minus armor item is very strong, and then going into like an urn, it's kind of a weird Flubb build, but I think that can have a lot of potential. Gives you the mana, gives you the survivability, gives you another way to deal extra damage. It's a very strong thing, and you're going to be wanting to be getting kills anyway with Weaver as a support. You're kind of not really roaming, but putting pressure and almost guaranteeing support kills, which you can convert that with the charges that you get into carry kills, and kind of let that train keep that pun intended, I guess, because you used train earlier, keep rolling. And it has a lot of potential. There's also the way of going into maybe a bottle early if you kind of have that mobility factor. You're kind of running around a lot and kind of can put extra pressure on the safe lane, guaranteeing that you can steal their rune and get your rune at the same time. That can be worth it. But most of the time I would go one of the other two builds. I would also, as a support, go into Aghanim Scepter. Aghanim Scepter is something that's... His Aghanim Scepter is, I would rate like top 5 almost. And definitely top 10. Probably top 5. One of the best you can have. Giving the ability to give that to another player, especially like, I think we saw it today with Weaver Storm, I forget who played it, but that is a very strong combo. Having someone who uses a lot of their mana to run in, burst, or if they get caught out, to be able to pull them back, basically giving them a free Ags, that is not free Ags, free Aegis is incredible. So consider that. If you're going carry, definitely go into the early treads. You need the treads for survivability. Maybe go into Aki and go into Adesso with probably Lincolns more often than not, because you're going to want that tank and you're going to want the ability to kind of, you have to stay alive. The other way, you're just a support, and if you get all your bugs out and kill 2 people in the process, it's still pretty good. If you kill 2 people in the process, you're probably killing supports. So as a carry, you don't want to trade 2 supports for a carry, even though it's 2v1, because it's just, you never want to do that, man. Especially as the hard farmer. So I personally suggest Lincolns almost 9 times out of 10, because I feel like a lot of times people are going to be trying to build to gank you in general anyway. So it's pretty good. BKBs are sometimes what you need to switch to. So the third and final question comes from my friend Jagushi. Jagushi is a great guy. He's also a great memer. So if you ever want to talk to him about memes, he's a good guy. But he asks, how do you improve your mechanical skill? I actually have thought about this a lot. Personally, I look at the game and I always try to help people, and I kind of like to view it as a coach a lot of times, because I like to say that I have dumb fingers, like from Futurama. Um, I may not have the mechanical. I have the mechanical skill, but I don't have like the brain power anymore as I'm getting older. I'm only 25. I know that's not really old for some of you guys, but it does. It does start affecting you after a while. And if you can learn like little tricks on mechanical skills in general, it kind of helps you out in those scenarios. And knowing what you're looking for in a future sight kind of give you that same thing that you get with chess. Know the moves that are going to happen before they even happen in the next like 10 seconds. One of the best way to do this is to play carry and support. And I'll get into that. Like, if people are going to think about mid and off lane a lot, but you want to focus on the pinnacles of what's important. Carry gets you into last hitting, gets you to understanding the farm rotation, understanding the game in general on the farming aspect of it, and kind of gets you into you can get into the one-on-one scenarios by the offlaner coming up on you when your supports are out, kind of having that balance of farm and fighting there. It can also have that whole situation you're facing, carry versus offlaner. So if you're eventually wanting to learn offlane, then it kind of gives you that practice in general. So that's where you kind of want to start from like the learning perspective about farming and understanding how to last hit, how to get the basic mechanical skills of laning and moving the lane correctly, pulling, having lane presence to when you should deny, when you should push. Understanding that is a very good thing to have, very good skill to have. On the other end of the spectrum, supporting is just as good. Understanding the rotations, understanding the idea of how smokes and wards and sight should generally be bought and played with. Understanding the movements that people have and watching your map. That position focuses on all of that and kind of gives you a backline on what you should have when you don't have any money, how you should play. And that's something that a lot of people don't understand, and I feel like that's something that is lost in Dota because everyone wants to be the star. No one picks up on support, so everyone thinks the game is lost when they have a bad game because they never generally have a bad game when they play core because they can get X amount of farm. If you're playing support, you're never guaranteed X amount of farm. A lot of times you can be in a situation where you don't even have freaking boots. You gotta like basically carry your team on your back in the first 10 minutes. It's very hard and very challenging, and everyone should at least try to play at, I want to say, 200 games of support, just to understand the rotations of how the game should be played. So play some support, play some carry, kind of go back and forth. If you're not strong at one, then go into, if you're not strong at both, go into unranked. Understand some of the styles and plays of it, because it will help you understand how you should play the other two positions. Well, I say other two, I mean obviously there's jungle as well, but let's be honest, jungling requires how to learn how to farm and stack in like a very simple format, so that's really not that good. It doesn't really help you learn the game at all. But playing mid and off lane is a combination of supporting and carrying in a way that's like symbiotic. And I feel like if you really want to truly know the basics of it, support and carry is what you need to start out on and try to help improve your game in general. So now that I've talked to you guys about how some questions that you guys had and kind of filled you in, I want to leave this on a high note, on a fun little trick that someone figured out. There's a fun little backpack trick where you can actually put Blink Dagger into your backpack, and it actually doesn't go on cooldown. It's really funny. So if you get attacked, you know, the Blink Dagger starts going on a 3-second cooldown, and it keeps stacking on that. So if you're getting attacked and solidly just harassed down where you can't blink, you can actually move it into your backpack, and then it's considered not actually active on your person. So then it goes into like the stasis form, and you can then put it into your inventory, and as it comes out of stasis, you're not actually getting any cooldown timer locked down on it. So you can actually blink out of a situation where you're getting like pummeled by auto attacks. Now you have to be pretty tanky to do this, so it's not going to happen all the time. I feel like the best way to do this is, one, if you're getting like have dot damage, you can play like Wind Ranger or something, and like use your Wind Run to kind of deny that damage until all of a sudden you can blink out from the auto attacks, kind of like tank up that way, or be like Ursa or Centaur or something and kind of take advantage of your tankiness and use it as a last second resort. So a fun little trick you guys might want to try out, have some fun. I also think that there's some interesting interactions, because I mean, we all know what was it? I think it was Swindles. Yeah, Swindles dropped in the past he dropped his he dropped his Blink Dagger. He dropped his Blink Dagger just so that he could get his auto attacks off during a tournament, and picked it back up just so he could blink. It's like a new version of that Swindles move. So we'll call it the Swindles backpack move. It's probably someone else's move, but until they come forward, it'll be the Swindle backpack. Anyway, that being said, I have a couple announcements before I close out the show. One, sadly, I don't think I should be streaming on Mondays or Fridays anymore. I'm getting back into school, one, and I just don't think it's worth it. Two, the product really wasn't that great, and I didn't ever really put it online because I didn't put the videos on because it was having a lot of lag issues, and I don't want to cause I don't want to put out a bad product. I don't want you guys to have to watch me being choppy, and my game was kind of lagging because it was choppy. So I'm going to work on trying to get a better CPU and trying to get out better content in the future. But while I'm doing that, I'm going to start switching over to other things. I'm going to be trying to maybe do some casting more often, whether it's just fun in-houses with friends over at Dot P, maybe talk to the Deso ladies or Dot P about trying to work into casting for one of them. Just have some fun. And I'm also very excited. I got a new show coming out in February. I got a new show. I'm working with a caster. It'll be about an hour long, and I don't want to reveal too much about it, but it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun, and it's a lot gets back to my roots. So I really hope you guys can tune in February, and it'll be coming out on Wednesdays. So look out for it, and hope you guys enjoy. So now I'm gonna close out the show. As you guys know, this is the sound that is coming to you is from www.bensound.com, royalty-free-music. This is a great site for free music, just stuff that's kind of filler in the background. Have to plug it for any time I play it. You guys can always subscribe to our Twitch to follow us, to watch any more of my videos or watch anything that Toffees creates at Toffees Dota 2, or you can follow us on our YouTube channel, 5 Midas Gaming, all one word. And if you guys follow us there, and you guys ever want to look into different videos that I'm talking about, different things that I couldn't talk about in the actual time, because I want to keep the time short and sweet, so you guys don't get bored, and go watch this during while you guys are getting updated. You don't need an hour-long update. You just need a 20-minute update. So, you guys ever want to see any of the videos I talk about, go look at the bottom of the comments section from there, and I'll link you guys so that you guys can get filled in on anything throughout the week that I could get to or that I couldn't get to. If you guys ever want to follow Toffees, he's a great guy. He's got great content just like me. Follow him at Toffees. Follow Toffees at Toffees TV, and you can follow me at Flupdate. So if you ever want to tweet me any questions, you can also tweet me at Flupdate, and you can also send it to my email. You email crazyflubb@gmail.com. And for those of you who didn't get to hear their questions this week, I will be doing a question every week, so you guys don't feel left out. It is coming. It is coming, so don't worry about it. I hope you guys have all been updated, and until next week, I'll see you guys later.